food markets only.
Meet Susie Smart, she is so bright. On her blackboard you can write. She has a desk, she has a seat. What's your name, my dolly sweet?
My name is Susie Smart.
She can talk!
She can talk, but can she add?
2 plus 2 is 4. Cat, C-A-T.
You can spell!
Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how
You recite!
Press the button, she says a dozen things, complete with desk, blackboard, and seat. Susie Smart, sold at food markets only.
What's this stuff? Some cereal. It's supposed to be good for you. Did you try it? I'm not gonna try it. You try it. I'm not gonna try it. Let's get Mikey. Yeah. He won't eat it. He hates everything. He likes it. Hey, Mikey.
Penny, 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 penny.
Ooh, Sheldon, please. Let's not get so crazy. Hi, new Marshall. Yeah, I'm feeling okay. Kind of tired today. Been packing things, and after a while, I gotta sit down and basically do nothing. So my do nothing for right now is gonna be to bust open a few more penny rolls. So far, I haven't found much in this box. I think I'm on roll number 5 or something. And other than one of those Lincoln Life series and a Canadian, I don't think I found very much in here. So I just want to, I'm trying to clear out the corner where my desk is so I can pack everything except the stuff that I absolutely need to use to keep my show going until I move. So I figured this would be a good time. It's nasty outside, so I can't really go out and get empty boxes out of my car. And, what the heck? Let's look at some pennies. See if there's anything in here worth keeping. Otherwise, that'll give me something to do tomorrow. I can roll them up, get them ready to take them back to the banking establishment. Get them. Oops, I didn't get my cheating sheet out. Move that. There's my cheating sheet. Mailed out a record that I sold on eBay. So, well, I haven't actually mailed it. I've got it packaged and have a note up on the mailbox asking the mail carrier if she will come We'll see if I'm back. Audio. Camera. I hope I'm back. Somebody let me know if I am. We had a little technical glitch there. Our power blipped out just enough to throw me offline. It does that here when the weather's funky and it's in the 30s. So it decided to kick me out. So I think I'm back on. Benji says he thinks I'm back. Thank you, Benj. Appreciate it. Yeah, it doesn't take much around here for power to blip. When you're up in the mountains, they don't maintain our infrastructure very well. Our light poles and wiring and so forth. So a good gust of wind will knock us off. The sound you're hearing is me getting rid of field pennies because I just won't even search them. I leave those for other people. Now, if I'm searching rolls for somebody else, I will search them, but they don't excite me. So I just pick them all out. Let's see what we got. Nothing. I need to make new cheat sheets, but that will be something that happens after I move. I'm going to completely redo my whole setup. I packed some more stuff. I'm not doing a big Christmas thing this year, but I did put a wreath on the door. So took down the orange fall wreath that I have had ever since I lived in Clio, Michigan. Little old man at the senior center made that one for me, and I'm guessing he's probably long passed away because he was in his 90s when he made that for me, but I still have it, so I hang it up every year. I've added a few little flowers and things on it, but now I got my Christmas one up, one of the ones I made, because people ask me about it, and then sometimes I can actually sell some. I sold a couple last year. So I'm just being real lazy today. I've been wound up over this heart surgery thing, and I'm just trying to settle me down. BC Treasure Trails, hi. How are you? So far, this has been a real stinker of a box. I said, this is the 5th roll, and I have really not found much. But maybe it'll surprise me. Got in the 60s bin. There's an 82. I gotta go through those. Put my 83s in with them, and then I'll sort them out later. In the land of snow, haven't had any yet. Yeah, we haven't had any yet either. It looked like it was going to yesterday, but we just got that weird wet haze that never quite developed into anything, which was fine with me. Oops. Boy, when I get back there, I'm going to find a bunch of pennies where I've missed the container. Who knows what all's going to be back there. I'm still looking for a Guam quarter that I lost, that I need to finish a book. I'm sure it's down there somewhere. So I've been working on my little packets for the little race on the 29th. Found a few more goodies to go in there. Some of the prizes are single prizes, and then other ones are packets of prizes. Jackalope Herd Master, how you doing? Nothing exciting in this roll, and I'm down to the last foe. Yeah, I thought about going over to the Dollar Tree, but on Saturday our bus only runs like every 3 hours, and I really did not want to be at the Dollar Tree for 3 hours, so I'll wait. Yeah, our bus only runs like 3 times on Saturday. It runs every 3 hours, and you have to ride all the way around the whole town. You can't just go where you want to. So, yeah, nothing in there to speak of. Da, 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 da. This roll's got shield pennies on each end. That's not a good sign. Maybe it'll have something groovy hidden in the middle. That'd be nice. Like I said, I haven't found much. I found a Lincoln Life and a Canadian 1980 Canadian penny, and that's the high points of this box so far. It's been pretty PU. Uh, what the heck? Yeah, I'm not getting any more till after the move. Ooh, I think I just found another Canadian. What we got here? Yeah, we found another Canadian. Let's see what we got here. 1976. Not in the world's greatest condition, but that's something. It's better than the shield pennies. I don't know what that is. That's something pretty mushed. 83. Let's pick some of these shields out of here. Yeah, because really the only shield I know of that has any supposed things on them are there's supposedly some 2021s with die cracks, but I've never actually seen one. So somebody just told me they existed. Okay. Get that up there. There we go. So what's everybody recovered from Thanksgiving? Didn't eat too much. Yeah, I hate to sound ungrateful, but we had an organization that brought dinners over for us for Thanksgiving, and my advice is don't if you don't have anybody that can actually cook, please don't bring meals. There was not a single thing in that box that was edible. Why you been up since midnight, James? I got up about 2:30 and couldn't go back to sleep. Piddled around, cleaned the bathroom, and then I went back to sleep. Slept pretty good till about 7. And got up and just started doing little things like sorting piles of papers. I got this thing I'm doing where every day I throw away at least 10 things. It can be 10 little things like just envelopes or receipts, or it can be bigger things that are broken, stuff out of the refrigerator, different. But every day I throw it away or putting in the donation box at least 10 items. And I wasn't sure that it was really making a difference, but it is, because I now have 10 fairly good sized plastic tote bins that are empty that I can use to pack things in for the move, where I started out with 2. Oh, there's a Lincoln Life COE. Get up there with that Canadian one. Y'all can discuss foreign affairs. And saw that thing on the news yesterday. That was pretty weird. They always got to try to make everything a terrorist attack. And I gotta admit that that car crash did look pretty weird. The one going up by Niagara Falls, going across Rainbow Bridge from Canada to the U.S. But it turned out just the gentleman had lost control of the vehicle and apparently hit a curb or something and launched the car up in the air. And when it came down, it blew up. And he and his wife were killed, and that's awful. But they tried to make that into some big terrorist thing, and it just turned out to be a very sad car accident. That's one of the problems I have with newscasters of today. They don't wait until they have the facts before they start running off at the yap yap. When I was doing my degree in broadcast journalism, one of the very first things you learned was that you're supposed to learn who, what, where, when, how, and why. And they started talking about that accident before they knew any of those things. How much, what? Other than where. They knew where. That was about it. Yeah, it was. Then one of them said, "Oh, there was a second car involved," and I'm just, come on, people, just hold your tongue for 5 minutes until you have a clue what happened before you start reporting. It reminds me of this thing back years ago in the 70s when I lived in Florida, and there was a whole bunch of murders up near the University of Florida. And they had this one poor boy tried and convicted before they ever had any facts. And people were trying to kill his family and all kinds of stuff. Turned out he had absolutely nothing to do with the crime at all. It was all crap made up by news people trying to get attention. Just irritating. We're not doing much better on this roll. These are P.U. Stanky. P.U. Stanky. It's the second roll I've done, and I've gotten a Canadian and a Lincoln Life so far. Well, I guess that's better than not getting anything. I just wanted to sit down and rest for a little bit, so here I are, trying to run up some watch time. I don't even know where my stats are at. I don't look at them that often. Nothing there. And I found most of the components for the Christmas ornament that I'm making for Archaeology Mikey's mom. I just have to wait I had to order one piece. I had to order the 007 part of it, but in one of our conversations, she had told me about Mikey buying Christmas ornaments, that he had cheeseburgers and pizzas and ketchups and just all kinds of funny ones. Well, he had me make a couple for one of his relatives, and I have some of the extra components of it left. So I'm making one like he had me do for I think it was his aunt and his grandmother. So I'm making one. 2 hours, that's nothing. I used to do that just about every day. There was a period of time where I lived in Tampa, and I worked in Winter Park, which is over by Orlando. So I would have to make a pretty good haul every day. I got used to it. I like to drive. I think that's part of my problem right now, is my car being kaput and then going through the eye surgeries and stuff where I couldn't drive. I'm actually cleared to drive, but my car isn't really in very good shape. Last time I drove it somewhere, it broke down, and that's when I discovered State Farm was ripping me off on road service. I called road service and was informed that even though I am paying for road service, the area that I live in, they don't actually have road service. And I would have to find my own wrecker, pay them out of my own pocket, and then State Farm would decide if they were going to reimburse me. So basically, I'm getting ripped off for like $8 a month by State Farm for road service I don't actually have. So I'm a little afraid to drive in case I break down somewhere. So I go out every day and start the car. State Farm definitely not there for us anyway. And I call them every week and tell them I want a refund for all of the road service that I have paid for. No, because that's the first time I tried to use it, and that's how I found out that that's what their policy is here. And so I just torment them every week. I call them. I say, hey, waiting for my check. Like a good neighbor. State Farm wasn't there. But I I did let people on our local Facebook page know that, you know, hey, if you are carrying road service through this particular state farm, here's what's going to happen when you need it and you call. And I had a different State Farm agent called me, and she said, while it is true they don't have an actual garage that picks things up here that is directly tied to them, that they tell you call and have somebody do it, and the place will bill them directly. So I think I'm gonna keep the State Farm until I move, but I'm gonna switch it over to this other agent so I don't have to go through that kind of stupid. But a lot of people were really surprised to learn that. Like this one man, he said, I would be really upset if my daughter was driving home from college, which is about 35, 40 miles away, and she broke down and they told her that. He said because she wouldn't have the money on her to pay somebody. Life's difficult for everybody, Mud Swat. It's just degrees of difficulty. But yeah, that what bothers me about that is how many people are paying them for road service every month, and then when they need it, it's not there. How much money are they making off of that little scheme and scam? I'm like, that's, you know, and how big of an area is it that they don't have any recovery drivers in? Is it like the 5 mile area of the little town I live in, or is it the whole Blue Ridge Parkway? Or, you know, that makes a lot of difference. They could be making millions of dollars that way off of people. It's kind of a ripoff. But anyway, that's one of the reasons I don't drive very far. You know, if I go up the street and it breaks down, I can usually get somebody to come and, wait a minute, what am I looking at here? 92. Oh, okay. Nope, that's not a close. That's not a close. 77. Out to the end of roll number 3. Not producing much, but it's getting them off my desk. So there is something to that. I'm gonna sit down in a little while and just roll coins so I can take them back to the bank on Monday. I got a bunch. Hi, Christopher. How you doing? Thank you for coming in. Everybody here, hit that like and subscribe and share, and you can hit Sunny too if you want to. I never did like him that much. Bad joke, yes, I know. I know. Let's grab some more rolls. Those were stinkers. Those were stinkers. Let's go way in the bottom of the box here. Get me 3 more rolls out. Ooh, excuse me. I got some of my very favorite holiday cookies yesterday. My family on my mom's side is of German descent, and we kind of have at least my part of the family has a tradition of having Pfeffernuss cookies at the holidays, which are ginger spice cookies. And the problem is most grocery stores don't carry them, except Aldi has them, but we don't have an Aldi close. Last year I rented a car because I needed to go down there to get shoes down to Mount Airy, and so I was able to stock up on my cookies. But this year I can't do that, so I ordered 1 bag off the internet, and there's a lady down the hall from me, and I made the mistake last year when I had several bags of giving her some, and I don't mind sharing, but she's been driving me crazy. When am I going to get the Christmas cookies? And they're like $10 or $11 a bag. So, I mean, I hate to break the news to her, but she's not getting a bag. She might get 2, 3 cookies. And of course, they have downsized the bags like they've downsized everything else in the stores. But anyway, I got my Pfeffernuss cookies, and I probably ate 1 or 2 too many of them because now I got a little heartburn from the snappy part of the ginger flavor. And the thing is, they really don't have hardly any ginger in them. It's just a combination of a lot of spices. But they sure are good. So, yeah, I just got to make sure she doesn't see that I have them. Yeah, no kidding, Mud Swat. I got rice checks the other day um, because haven't been able to drive so much. I've been using the delivery from Walmart, which isn't my favorite place to shop from, but it's right behind my house. And I still had a little bit of rice checks left in the box on top of the refrigerator, which is where I think most people's cereal ends up. And so I ordered my groceries, and I was putting them away, and I noticed that the box was like 3 or 4 inches shorter than the one that was already up there. Cost me the same price, but that box was a whole lot smaller. And I'm like, wait a minute here. And I looked, and it was like several ounces lighter as well. I'm just like, uh, um, they're not exactly the same, Christopher, but they're in the same family. If you search, they will come up among the same category, but here's the ones that I got, only I didn't get them from here because I like the ones with the chocolate on the bottom of them. But yeah, they are very similar. They're a little bit smaller cookie, and sometimes you can get them where the bottom of them are dipped in dark chocolate, and those are the ones I really like. And I found a place that had them for $9 and something, and free shipping on Amazon. So I ordered myself a bag, but I am not handing them out like last year because I was able to go down to Aldi and get them. And I bought like 8 or 10 bags. I put some out in the lobby for, to share. And now there's a couple of people that think that I can afford to do that all the time. And I'm saving pretty much all my pennies and everything for this move. But since I have decided I was not putting up a Christmas tree or anything like that, because that stuff's already all packed up, I decided to treat myself to a bag of those cookies. And this lady, she's expecting me to supply her with an endless batch, and she's not getting an endless batch. So, like I said, she might get a couple of cookies. I when I get down to the last 2 or 3, I will decide. But uh, see if I can get these pulled over here, and I'll show you which ones I get. I either get this one. These are the ones I got last year, which is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But see, that Instacart thing is very misleading. They're not really $3.29. That's you get them from the store for like 13, and then it's $3.29 for Instacart to bring them to you. Yeah, I got the ones with the jam centers last year. Last year I got a whole bunch because I was able to go down to, there's an Aldi about 30 miles away from me, and I was able to go down there where they don't have the prices jacked up to the moon on them. And so I got a whole variety. But this year I don't have any way to get down there and do that. So, like, on this row of pictures that they have up here, um, I had last year, I had the second one, the third one. They didn't have that assortment last year. The 320, the thing that says 329 that really isn't. I had several bags of those. This year I got one of the next ones next to it, which have the chocolate, and that's all I got because I couldn't get them at the price that I could get them if I go in the store. And sometimes my friend Roger, that lives down in North Carolina, will go to the Aldi and get me some and send them to me. But all I got this year, because I'm saving my money, was that one bag with the ones with the chocolate on the bottom. And I'm sorry, but I'm not sharing. I told my aide she could have one because she wanted to try them, but um, in general, no, she's not getting those this year. I can't afford to be handing out $11, $12 bags of cookies. Like I said, I got one for myself. In lieu of putting up a Christmas tree, I treated myself to some cookies. But I feel bad because she keeps asking me about them. And I just keep telling her, because my friend, like I said, my friend Roger sends them to me sometimes because he knows I like them. And he'll usually send me a box with 2, 3 packs in. But I just keep telling her, hey, my friend didn't send me any this year. And I'm not lying. I haven't gotten any. But what's so frustrating is that they're 25 miles away and I have an Aldi gift card in my wallet and I can't get there to get my cookies. Oh, oh well, at least I got some, and they're really good. But yeah, it's just something I have made them, actually hand made them a couple of times, but they're a lot of work. So I don't need to be eating a bazillion of those anyway, so just as well. But yeah, I got my cookies yesterday and I smuggled them in so she didn't see them coming. 92 close AM. Nope. Hi, Kevin. How you doing, sweetie? Thank you for that lovely gift you sent me through Cash App. That always helps me get everything out in the mail when you do those little things like that. So I'm saving that for when I go to mail out the things from the little race. Oh, I need coffee. Goodness. Kind of sleepy today. Can't seem to get my engine cranked up. After I do this, I'm going to go list a couple more records on eBay. I've been doing pretty good with that. I've been selling them for 5 weeks I think I got about 10 or 12 listed, and I've sold 5 for over $600. I have some rare records. And of course, that's all moving money. I mean, it's not technically moving money, as in I can use it for discretionary things. Like I have used it twice for renting vehicles to haul things out of the storage, which is part of the moving process. But I will confess I did buy a bag of cookies out of my record money, but I got more. I gotta get listed. I don't like to get too much stuff listed all at once, because I am still sitting at number 8 as far as I know, but the lady who works in the office was on vacation from Wednesday. She won't be back until Monday. So right now I'm still sitting at number 8. So that's what I know. And like I said, she won't be back in the office till Monday. I think she went somewhere for Turkey Day. Which is fine, because if they called me right now, I'm not sure I'd be ready. I work on it every day, but anyway, like I said, that's where I'm sitting right now. And we will see how it progresses. Tomorrow I'm gonna sit some stuff outside in the hall, as long as I don't block the hallway to where wheelchairs can't get past. The office manager said I can set a few items out there for sale. So last week I did actual jewelry up in the lobby, and I'm doing that again the the weekend after December 1st. So it'd be like December 3rd, because that's when people get their checks around here. And we have a lot of people that don't have a way to go shopping. So I'll be selling jewelry for Christmas gifts. But tomorrow I'm just setting some boxes out full of stuff that you can buy for a quarter or 50 cents, just to get rid of it. And then Monday, my home health aide is going to run a couple of boxes of stuff over to the thrift store, get them out. And then I'm trying to get my eBay stuff that's already listed. I've got it all gathered up in its appropriate bins. And then I've got a couple boxes that need to get listed. So I'm mostly working on getting things down to less items to move. And then Of course, before I go, when it's actually time to go, I'm going to give a bunch of stuff away too, because I kind of, how I'm looking at the situation is there's a lot more thrift stores up there than there are here. And some of this stuff I don't really need, or I can replace it for not very much money. And so I see no point in hauling it. I mean, obviously there's some things that I'm not going to want to get rid of, like furniture that my dad made, but they're small pieces of furniture, little bookshelves, stuff like that. But there's a lot of stuff I'm getting rid of, just because I can replace it. Oops. Come back. And I can always go shopping at Chez Q, also known as Q's Garage, stuffed with things that people donated to them after his house burned down, and they couldn't use all of it, so he's been slowly giving that stuff away. So it's hard to get him to get rid of things. I mean, it was a long time ago his house burned down, but anyway, some stuff I'm just not gonna take. And at the end, if I can't give it away, I'll stick it in the back of the U-Haul truck and drop it off at the thrift store on the way out of town. But anyway, that's where I'm at with that. I even gave away some jewelry the other day. Ooh, we found a Wheatie. Oops. Wheatie time. Let me see what I got laying around here we can have some fun with. Trying to find something to give away here. Oh, all right. I think I still got some of them. Oh, let me look. Based upon what the back of the Wheatie looks like, place your guess closest without going over. I'm gonna get you something. It'll get you something. It'll get you a surprise. Whew. Because I'm having a hard time here bending over trying to find what I'm looking for. Yeah, here we go. That'll work. Closest without going over will get you a 1952 Rosie's Out dime. Says there's 9 people in here. I don't know what the date is either. I haven't looked yet. Got to get back up here to the top of where the guessing began. There's the one. One guess per person. Closest without going over. If you've guessed more than once, only your first guess is going to count. Everybody in that wants to be in. Oh, let me find an envelope. I got an envelope, got a pen. All right, I'm guessing everybody's done guessing. So, let's flip her over. That's the first Wheatie I found in this box. Da-dum, 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 da-dum. 1953D. Where's the top of the guesses? Okay, 54 is over. 56 is over. 44D, 47. 47D. Okay. Well, I'm going to say that 47 is the closest without going over. And the tiebreaker is going to be the fact that one of them put the D. Because I do not see anything else that is not over. So if I use the D as the tiebreaker on the two people that said 53, that is going to make our winner as New Marshall in town with 1947 D. Yeah, that was a shame, being over by one. That was really a shame. I hate it when that happens. So, because New Marshall put the D on there, that is the tiebreaker. So, congrats, New Marshall. You got your silver Rosie. And I got me a 53D Wheatie. How about that? That's, like I said, that's the first Wheatie that I've found in this box, and I think I'm on like roll 8 or 9. So it has not been a super jam-packed box. But at least we know it has not been a completely picked box either, because we have found Lincoln Life, and we found a Canadian, and we found actually we found 2 Canadians, and we found a Wheatie, so it's all good. That means that there's still hope for the box having something in it. You know, I like doing that little game. It's not real complicated. And sometimes I have better prizes than others. You know, on my regular show, the prizes are different than um, they are when I'm just doing the Deadbeat Club. Deadbeat Club is when I just, for whatever reason, decide I want to go online. I don't look to see who else is broadcasting. I just go on because I feel like going on. And if you don't know why I call it the Deadbeat Club, it has to do with a song by the B-52s that has a line in it about the band I work with in Michigan, question mark, and the Mysterians. It has a line in the Deadbeat Club song where they talk about going down to Allen's bar for 25-cent beer, playing the jukebox real loud, playing 96 Tears, which is question mark and Mysterians' #1 hit song. So whenever I'm just goofing around, there's another Lincoln Life. And I don't have any particular topic or anything going on. I just run the Deadbeat Club for a while. What I think is so cool about that is the band that I work with, the Mysterians, they're a 60s band, and the B-52s are an 80s, 90s, whole different generation band. And I think it's really cool that they gave a shout out to my boys. 96 Tears it is a great jukebox song. There's some bar in Leesburg, Florida, and I can't remember the name of it, but they used to have a jam session in there during the week, and as soon as the band would quit jamming and take a break, I'd go over and play 96 Tears on the jukebox, and everybody in the bar would be singing along and dancing, and so it's kind of a cool thing that song is still getting recognized over 50 years later. And being recognized by people that weren't even born when it was written. So that's some longevity there now. Yeah, Susie Q. There's a classic. Who did the original version of Susie Q? Because most people get that wrong. I know the answer. Because I is a Susie Q. What in the world? Looks like Lincoln tried to become Amish with that beard. You're right. That's wrong. Creedence was not the original. Creedence made the song much more famous, but they had nothing to do with the writing or original recording of it. And it's funny because I can play that song. I can play it the Creedence style, and I can play it the original style. Of course, if you are a Susie Q, you kind of have to know that, or you should know it anyway. Well, oh, let me put that away so I don't lose it. That over here. Okay. Anyway, well, since I'm at the end of the roll, I will give you the answer to the question about Susie Q. If I'm trying to remember the exact year. I know the artist and I know the style, but just trying to remember what year it was released. Yeah, 1957. It was released in May of 1957, and the gentleman who wrote it, well, recorded it, he actually wrote it with another guy named Robert Chasen, but the artist who released it in 1957 in a very rockabilly kind of almost Jerry Lee Lewis kind of style. It was a gentleman named Dale Hawkins, Hawkins. He is the actual primary writer. His friend Robert was involved, but was not, was not the primary writer. The primary writer and the performer was Dale Hawkins, and his version is really interesting. I like his version. And believe it or not, this was one of those things back in the day where if they thought an artist was not suitable to play on radio for whatever reason, they would get some super cleaned up white boy to re-record songs. Like they did that a lot with Little Richard stuff. They would have Elvis and Pat Boone and people like that record them and then re-release them as white bread. Well, Dale Hawkins was white, but he sounded a little bit like a person of color. And so one of the record labels had this brilliant idea to get someone else to record the song and re-release it. And I had to actually go listen to this to decide how bad it really was. But they decided to have Bobby V do a cover version. And that pretty much killed the song until Creedence got a hold of it in the 60s and turned it into the monster that they turned it into. But yeah, there's your little history of oh Susie Q. Oh Susie Q. I actually have a funny story about Susie Q. When I first started getting sick, I had to go in the hospital, and I didn't have any insurance at the time. But they had already informed me I was going to have this major surgery. And I had signed up to sell jewelry at this little festival thing in Orlando, Florida, called Woodstock Jam Bando, and it was a tribute to Woodstock, and I had already paid my money, and I really didn't want to miss this thing, and I persuaded the doctor. I said, look, I said, I promise I'll come back tomorrow. Just let me go do this show. Ooh, somebody from Athens. Yeehaw. Good music town. So anyway, I persuaded the doctor. I said, look, I've already paid for this show, and I don't have any insurance, so I don't have any money to pay for these prescriptions, and I really need to go do this show. I said, if you'll just let me go do the show, I promise I'll come back tomorrow, and then we can start working on what we're going to have to do with this surgery. And so the doctor agrees to let me do this, and they're going to release me at noon. I'm supposed to be at the venue at 1 to set up, and about 5 minutes to 12, this doctor comes in, and because he knows I'm going to be in a bunch of pain, but I'm trying to do this so that I have money to handle my situation. So this doctor comes in at 5 minutes to 12, and they pumped me full of morphine. I was so freaking wasted. And my sister-in-law, all my stuff was already in my car ready to set up. So my sister-in-law takes me down to the venue and turns me loose with my hippie friends, and she goes off to try to get my meds for me. And she comes back, and one of them was like over $1,000, and she said, I can't get that one, but here's all the rest of them. Well, like I said, they pumped me full of morphine, and the first band that came on was uh, the band. Each band was covering an artist who had played at Woodstock, and the first one that came on was a Creedence Clearwater cover band. And I have no proof of this because nobody took a photo, but I've been told that I was standing on a chair dancing to Susie Q in the lobby of the Plaza Theater during Woodstock Jam Bando. Like I said, nobody took a picture. There's no proof. But there's no doubt in my mind that I probably did do that because I was definitely wasted. And then the next day, I just walked back in through the emergency room because that was how they had to keep admitting me. Was since I didn't have any insurance, I'd be in for a number of days, and then they would send me out, and I'd go home and go back. Actually, I didn't even have a home. I'd go back to my Mustang or my mom's house, and a couple days later, I'd go back in through the ER, and of course, they'd have to admit me because I really was bad sick to the point that I was in that hospital for almost 6 months. I went in July and got out Christmas Eve, but there would be like 2 or 3 days where I'd be out and then I'd go right back in. A bunch of friends of mine had a benefit concert for me to help me raise money to pay for my meds because I didn't have any insurance at the time. So we had this really cool concert thing in one of the local bars. It was called Songs for Susie. I ended up, after I got better, doing similar fundraisers for other people. But yeah, that I could not believe they did that. I figured they were going to give me a couple of Percocets and send me home, right? Oh no. I truly do not remember a good portion. I do have some photos of me at the event, but I don't have anything of me actually dancing on a chair. But they had mentioned even in the program that I may or may not be there. I did a lot of shows for that production group, and they had put a little note in there that I was in the hospital. And I actually ended up going to the hospital the day after doing a show in Daytona Beach called Hippie Fest, which was sponsored by Flo and Eddie, also known as the Turtles. And on the way home, I got really sick. And my poor stepson was with me. He had to drive me home the rest of the way. He didn't even have a driver's license. He was, however, in his Army uniform, so I think if he'd have gotten stopped, he probably would have not gotten a ticket for driving me. But yeah, unfortunately, I really liked doing shows in that venue, but unfortunately, I don't know that they do a lot in there anymore because that young lady that was on The Voice, I can't think of her first name. Her last name was Grimmy. The girl that got shot by the crazy fan, that happened in the same venue. And that kind of put a damper on having shows in there. But for a while, we had a lot of really good shows in there. But yep, I've been told by many people that I was dancing on the chair. Oh, nothing in that. That was 3 more rolls. I'm going to do one more. And then I'm going to go do some other stuff for a little bit. My feet were swelling up, and I decided I needed to do something sitting down for a while, so I started opening some pennies to clear off my desk. And excuse me, set gingerbread again. Thank you, Kevin. You're doing a great job. I made Kevin a moderator the other night, and he's really stepped up to the plate. He was doing half the stuff anyway, and he just wasn't a moderator. So since I recently lost a couple moderators, I added a couple new ones on there. But yeah, Kevin's been kind of filling in for I have one moderator that's taking a break, and unfortunately, I had one that passed away. So Kevin's been doing a real good job filling in. So I figured he deserved to have that little blue wrench. And he's doing an awesome job for me. And the other one that I added as a moderator is Doug Harding, because he's in and out of here quite a bit. After I get relocated up in Michigan and rearrange how some of the stuff on the channel is going to work, I'll probably be adding a few more. Now, I just saw something. Uh, okay, let me get these nasty shield pennies out of here. I don't like them. I don't like them. They're icky poo, yuck. Ooh, we got Canada. We got a Canuck. Here we go. Oh, this one's pretty shiny still. Yeah, James has been here. James has been one of my moderators for a long time. Oh, there's a 2000 Canadian. I just don't have very many moderators because I've been gone so much from being sick. I really didn't need any more. And the ones I had were doing a pretty good job, so I only in the past week did I decided I needed to add some more, and that's because I'm doing the holiday. The holiday thing is coming up, and the race is coming up, and I can't, with my eye surgery, I can't really do an excellent job quite yet on keeping track of what's going on. But all my mods are great. But I wanted to thank Kevin because this is the first stream that Kevin has been like a full-time moderator in here. I made him a mod at the end of the stream the other night. So this is his first real go round with doing it. And so wanted to give him a pat on the back because he is doing for first time. He's doing a really good job. Of course, he hasn't been in here yet when the crazy Russian hookers come in. Remember that, James, when we had a whole bunch for like 2 weeks? Every time I would come on, we would get the crazy Russian hookers, and James and Archaeology Mikey would be slapping them down as fast as they could. And then they went away to bother somebody else when I got sick and they realized my channel didn't have much action going on. They kind of started leaving me alone, but yeah, there for a while it was bad. They were just on me constant. And oh, it was, I mean, it was funny, but it wasn't funny. My very first live stream, I had a whole bunch of people in, and they took me down 3 times. I was crying. I was so upset because, like I said, that was my very first stream that had happened in, and I was like, oh man, I don't know if I want to do this or not. That was back in 2018 or 2019. Yeah, it got real bad for a while, and then it kind of went away. So I think they must have come up with something that detects that before it gets going crazy. And because I saw one maybe a couple months ago was the last time, and when we booted them out, they seem to have a problem getting back in. So I think there's something in the algorithm now that slows them down to a dull roar. But yeah, there for a while they were really bad. And the language was really nasty. And I went in and put a lot of blocks on words that you could and could not use in the channel in order to try to stop it. Yeah, that was when I first moved to Georgia. It was right after my friend Tommy died. And I was just trying to keep my mind off of, my house had flooded in Michigan and I had moved down to Georgia and things were going pretty good. And then all of a sudden my friend died. And I was just trying to stay busy. And and then COVID kicked in. And so that kind of had everybody locked down from going out and doing a lot of metal detecting things. And so the channel started switching over to where I was doing more of the coin collecting stuff because I had found a bunch of not real valuable coins, but Tommy had some and I had some. So I decided to combine the collections. And when I finally got enough nerve to do a live stream, the first thing that happened was those horrible people. They took me down 3 times. And back then they would report you for, like, they reported me and YouTube immediately took me down because they said that I had nudity on my channel. And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? I'm almost 70 years old. The only nude thing you're seeing is my hand. I was just like, oh my God. Oh, well, I'm down to the last 3 pennies here. But, yeah, I got to do a video later for the big race, or for the little race. Now, don't forget, if you have not gone over on the main page of my channel, the video for guessing how much change is in the jar is posted right there at the top, and that guess needs to be in by midnight on I can't think, December 3rd. I'm about ready to go do something else here for a little bit, but let me yeah, dummy. I had something else I was going to mention. Oh, I found 3 more boxes of my old rock and roll pictures. And some of the stuff that's in there is truly amazing. I'm kind of ending up selling a lot of my records and a lot of my stuff, but there's a couple things in there I'm not going to be selling. And one of them, I found an autographed picture of the Doors, all 4 of them. All of them signed it. Yep, in the laundry closet. That's correct. My apartment in Georgia had this closet that ran like the length of the hallway that went from the living room to the bathroom. And it had connections in there for washer and dryer, and it had shelves. And this thing was big. I had my whole setup in there. I had a file cabinet with my printer on it and shelves and my desk and all my computers and cameras and everything. And so yeah, my whole studio was in the laundry closet. And I on the doors behind me I had two big boards, my sticker boards back there. It was pretty cool because when you close the folding doors, nobody knew any of that stuff was in there. They didn't know I even had a computer or anything in there. And I put it in there because I was trying to keep my cat out. Well, we all know how that worked. That little stinker would get in there and knock me off the internet pretty much at least once a week. He would have to get in there and do his thing, disconnect me, and everybody finally learned, just don't disconnect, just hang on, and I'll be back in about 3 minutes. I'm putting this link up here, trying to anyway. But yeah, I had, before I got sick, I had my channel was growing pretty fast. I think the biggest night I had was when we did the 666 subs, The Devil Made Me Do It stream. That one got pretty wild. There was a lot of folks in there that night. There we go. Yeah, now I got the link pinned up at the top for the comment video to guess how much change came out of those plastic bags that I never got to make the metal detecting videos from. So we fished all the metal scrap out and we guessed how much that weighed, gave away a pinpointer. And now we've got all the change out of the jars in there. Out of the bags, they're in a jar, and you can go look at the video and see if you can figure out how much is in there without going over. Oh, sugar water. Yep, it's time for me to quit. I'm dropping stuff on the floor. That's usually when I end up quitting, is when I start spilling and making a big mess. But yeah, I just needed to sit down for a little while and do something different. This, yeah, I found this on the floor. This is part of a car, but I'm not sure what car. A metal detected piece, but it's some kind of car trim. I can tell just by the look and feel of it. Excuse me again. Looks like it might be like part of a Chevy trim or something. My camera's not focusing very well, but yeah, I found this under the desk. It's pretty chunky too. And I have part of I have a hood ornament thing from a Camaro that I found. Uh, as I clean around the desk, I'm finding all kinds of odds and ends. And we're back to that. Oh, goodness. I need coffee. I need coffee. So, anyway, I think we're about done for the day. We did end up with a couple more Lincoln things, a Wheatie, and 3 Canadians. I always have my tetanus shots up to date because I hate wearing gloves when I go metal detecting. I know you should, but I absolutely hate it. And because I can't, if I'm on some little bitty tiny thing, I can't feel it with the gloves and it just drives me nuts. So I always make sure that I've got my shots up to date. In fact, I kind of had this joke at the hospital the last time I was in there. For the second heart procedure, they were supposed to come in and get me up and walk me around like every couple of hours, and they weren't doing it. And the doctor came in and he said he wanted to know if I had been up walking, and I said no. They haven't come in except to take me to the restroom. I said they fed me and watered me, but they didn't walk me. Poor doctor. He's like, I was waiting for him to ask me if I had had my rabies shots, but somebody got in big trouble for that because they were supposed to be getting me up. And we're still fighting with them over this last deal. I was supposed to have another procedure last week, and the medical transport failed to show up. And then they said, well, we can do it at this other hospital next week, but you have to be there at 6 a.m., which means the transport would have to be at my house at 4 a.m. to get me there. And I'm like, if they can't get me there by 8 a.m., what makes you think they can get me there by 6? So the end result is I've had to cancel all of them, and we'll pick up the fight on that again on Monday. I told them, I said, I don't care if you got to pay a daggum Uber. You are supposed to be providing this service to me, and this isn't the first time that I have missed a procedure, but this one was really important. And so we'll see what happens. It's not a difficult procedure or anything. It's just the idea that they kept lying to me. And they'd say, oh, we'll have somebody there in an hour. We'll have somebody there in an hour. And nobody ever showed up. And it stunk. I am going to go and see what's happening with my other projects. I may come back on tomorrow. I don't know yet. Yeah, 48 hours later, still no one. Exactly. I mean, this thing was like for last week, and they haven't shown up yet. So I don't think they're gonna. All right, guys. Thank y'all for popping in and hanging out with me for a while. And I'll catch up with y'all later on. Like I said, I got to make a video and do a couple other things. So I'll be back on later. We'll see ya. Bye, everybody.